My name is Cleo. I am the wisest and the most assertive of the 9 Muses. I've had several lovers, Ares and Apollo being 2 of the biggest, and my distinction is my writing tablet, of course, hence why I'm in this profession of jotting down epic poetry, which is my domain. Now, do you have something that you want to profess, proclaim? Great. And are you a very eloquent person or not? Okay. Well, I have the gift of eloquence, so you just tell me what you want to say, and I'll ghostwrite it for you. How does that sound? Yes, that sounded like my stomach gurgling. Right on point. Now, tell me. You start, I'll listen, I'll type. Okay, great. So, go ahead. Pause. I'm writing it in a different language. That's why it doesn't seem like the lettering is in English or ancient Greek. It's because it's in a different language that I made up, so. I have the gift of eloquence. Do not question my language usage. Famous sons. Oh, okay. For my statement from earlier about me saying that I have famous sons. Okay. Well, I have a couple of sons with Ares, 4 sons, Mygdon, Edinus, Biston, and Adeimantus. And I have 2 sons by Apollo, who is the god of sun. I mean, not like the actual embodiment of the sun. There's a big difference. Not the actual embodiment of the sun, but just the manager, basically, of the sun. And he's my children with him. Sorry, I kind of had a brain fart. I was trying to remember who the god of the sun was, like the actual embodiment of it. I think it was Sol Invictus, but I don't think it was Sol Invictus. But I don't know. I think that was Roman. Never mind. That's like a good couple of 100 years ahead, nonetheless. So, my sons with Apollo are Orpheus and Linus. Linus is also someone who's very apt when it comes to eloquence. He got that from me. And Orpheus is actually the one who's very famous. He is the one who ended up trying to retrieve his wife Eurydice from the underworld. Are you familiar with that story? Okay, I'll tell you about it after you're done with the whole me reciting the epic poetry for you and typing it all up and whatnot, because I gotta get this all typed up for you on my writing tablet. And yes, we modernized. I no longer use an actual tablet with, you know, the whole stencil and everything. We use keyboards, an actual tablet. It's been like 2,000 plus years. We had to update, upgrade, and modernize. The acronym for that is That's the one we live by. And it's a very apt acronym as well, because every single time you hear of a Greek mythological story, all you kind of think is so very, very adequate for our purposes. I came up with it actually because I'm the god, the muse, or goddess, but muse of eloquence. Okay, pause. Let me tell you the story of Orpheus and Eurydice. That's my son and my daughter-in-law. So basically what happened was that they were 2 people who were very much in love, and then on their wedding day, Eurydice ended up getting, I think it was bit by a snake, and then she ended up dying, and she ended up being taken into the underworld. Now, Orpheus, who was a master musician, he was playing sad songs, weeping, completely tragic, and people took pity upon him. So I believe it was Persephone who ended up granting him, or was it Hecate? No, I think it was Persephone, because Persephone is the goddess of the underworld, but I think it might have been Hecate, because I think Hecate was involved. Hecate, 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 Hecate. Tickety tock, the mouse ran up the dog. So yeah, so Persephone ended up giving him access to the underworld, telling him that he can retrieve one mortal soul as long as he doesn't look back to see if, Eurydice was following him along the path outside. And so he ended up retrieving Eurydice, but he didn't look back. He didn't know if she was following him. He didn't even see her, I believe. He just had to trust her word. So when they ended up walking out to the underworld, he thought that because he was like right there at the mouth of the underworld, that he could look back and check if Eurydice had been following him this entire time. But she was. It's just since he was still within the underworld, and so was she, when he looked back, the promise was broken, and he couldn't keep her, and she ended up dying and being sent back to the underworld, and then he ended up dying, and they were reunited in the underworld. So you see, the underworld is a great place to be. You get reunited with your loved ones. Isn't that beautiful? I think it is. Let's get back to your epic poetry now. Yeah, so my son is basically in the underworld, but I mean, like, I'm a goddess, Muse. I've cavorted with Ares and Apollo, so like, I visit whenever I want. I'm like, yo, Hades, let me in, and he's all like, no, and I'm like, I'm going in now. So this is pretty epic. This is an epic poem. I believe that this could be the epic poem. You're gonna get Homer, Virgil, all of them. Some serious competition. Yes, this is still a real language. God. When Shakespeare invented the word elbow, did he ask anyone else if that was a real word? No, he just created it, and now it's actually commonly used. Don't question me. I'm the muse of eloquence. And I'm also the most assertive of the muses, so. Very interesting plot development. Strong characters. A story is only as strong as the weakest character. And as the weakest subplot. Great subplots. Amazing storytelling. My goodness. High praise. I give it 2 lightning bolts up. This is Greek mythology, not Roman mythology. I can't give it 2 thumbs up because, I mean, that's like, their thing. Fascinating. Wow, okay. I think we got everything that we need. This is going to be a great story. I'm just going to edit it a little bit so that way it's flawless, seamless, perfectly stitched together. And then once this is done, I will publish it to the Mount Olympus. Mount Olympus will publish it as truth, and then the mere mortals of the world will listen to this epic poetry and consider you a great. How does that sound? Fantastic, amazing, superb. My name is Cleo, daughter of Zeus and the Titaness Muses, goddess of memory, as are the rest of my sister, the rest of the 9 muses. And I'm also the muse of history and lyre playing. And usually I keep around with me scrolls to kind of identify me from the rest of my sisters. But considering how, the modern age is developing and whatnot, and we are progressing, I decided to kind of organize things a little better and keep my scrolls there, and then, everything else sorted out. I'm trying to digitize as much as I possibly can. That's kind of the nature of the beast now. But what is your concern? Why is it that you've come to me, Cleo, goddess of history and muse of history? Great request. I'm also known for making people famous. It's another title of mine. It comes with the whole history thing, and also I'm a glorifier. I'm also someone who exalts people through great tragedies, great writings and whatnot. So you've come to the right person if you want to become famous, which is kind of the nature of the beast again. Everyone wants their 15 minutes of fame nowadays, but I mean, they've kind of always wanted their 15 minutes of fame since the 60s, maybe even the 50s, maybe even sooner or earlier. I mean, I think it's just always been oh well. But if you want to be famous, we have to check your receipts. I have to go back into history and see what exactly it is. Check your receipts and also check your, search history. So that's gonna be fun, isn't it? So first of all, I keep all of my receipts in this little black book, physical copy. I don't put it onto the internet because frankly, it's permanent there. So let's check your receipts in here and make sure that we don't have any outstanding receipts for you. Yes, I chronicle everyone in independent, individual, separate little black books. Because frankly, everyone has receipts, but it's just a matter of who's going to be dragging them down to hell with their receipts. Because everyone wants to be a dragger nowadays. It's just no one wants to get dragged. So once the draggers get dragged, they're like, hey, stop dragging me. And the people who are dragging them are like, excuse me, you live by the drag, you die by the drag. So it's kind of a hostile, verbal, sort of passive aggressive time. People are too much of a pussy to kind of go into battle in the War of Wars is War of Roses, but they still kind of want to feel like they're going into battle all the time. So it's excuse me, calm down. If you're not going to rage a holy war, why are you getting so on your high horse? But I just roll with the times. I just see what goes on, and then I note it down in my little black book or in my computer, depending on what exactly it is that we're discussing. So let's look at your history. Let's see. Blank, 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 blank. Oh, blank. Amazing. You have not lived. Oh wait, that's because I was looking through the back first, not the front. Okay, let's check it out then. Okay. Okay, Jesus Christ, okay. This is just it's a rare case to say the least. It's quite special, but I've been through history. I've been through it all, so it's not that big of a preoccupation. Don't worry. Let's just keep going, keep rolling with it and whatnot. Let's just keep seeing where this goes. Okay. you've needed to see. Oh my god, is this gonna, okay, oh my god. Okay, so, let's just make this very clear. This is gonna be a very hard and arduous task to accomplish. You know, dealing with your receipts and dealing with your history. Dear Lord, is that just, oh. So, I don't think you can be glorified with this past of yours. So let's just go into the computer and start erasing your history manually, because we need to destroy the files. So let's start destroying files, because we really need to start destroying files. Like, what is wrong with you, you animal? No judgment, no judgment. No tea will be spilled here, no tea will be spilled here, none at all. You know, it's perfectly safe. You know, everyone has a history, but Jesus Christ, is yours and me. Okay, time to delete history. Okay, so deleting history manually. This is gonna take me a while. In fact, I'm gonna need like a hacker in this, just to make sure that we clean out everything. You're gonna need to start anew. You need to start a new leaf, new fresh page, and that's, oh, what is wrong with you? No judgment, no judgment. But what a history. Okay. Whatever I do on this keyboard is, you know, it should be for the best, to be honest. Like, anything done to your history is for the better. So, let's start erasing it. Okay. This is almost done. Here, listen closely to the immense work that I'm doing. All of that deleting, all of that destroying, erasing, all because you decided to live a life of unbelievable horrors. Horrors. Okay, so I think this might have solved your problem. If it didn't, then no one can save you now. And yeah, so hopefully you've learned your lesson here. Take this little black book, and I would advise you to burn it and scatter the ashes. Like, that's, here you go. In fact, just take your computer, like your entire computer, and just throw it onto the fire as well, and let it burn as well, and just take all of that melted plastic and, like, I don't know, turn it into a work of art. No, not even. Take the melted plastic and then burn. In fact, pull a Frodo and take the melted plastic and throw it into a volcano and just let it go. Like, just let it melt, because that's what you need to do right now. So get it done, and your history will be erased, and you won't have to be living with that anymore. My name is Erato. I'm the muse of eros and lyrical poetry. My symbol is usually the lyre, but considering how I'm also trying to become more modern, I decided to use the ukulele, which is something I hear is very hip with the young kids of nowadays. So here's the ukulele I use. Some of the symbols that I'm associated with are roses, as you can see, and wreaths, and golden arrows, because I inspire people to fall in love, and golden arrows are kind of, you know, symbolic of that, you know, piercing heart feeling of just like utterly being enchanted with someone, feeling like your heart has just been pierced by gold. So I'm going to be just plucking away at my lyre though, so I hope you don't mind, because I need to check if everything is fine, and by fine I mean I can't play it yet, so I'm not going to play it. So. The back of it is black. Everything about it is black. I prefer it that way. Yes, my hands can grow in size. It's totally not for its perspective. Perception. Perspective. Any interesting stories with me? No. I think the only thing interesting about me is the fact that I can just make people fall in love by letting them listen to my lyre, but I don't have my lyre anymore, so like that kind of invalidates the power that I do have. So instead, I'm gonna just tap this and hope for the best. Hope some, a couple of adorable little hipsters from 2009 start falling in love because they listen to the ukulele music and they're all like, hey, I like you and you like me, so like, how about we like each other and get together, blah 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 blah. And it's like, aw, like they're so cute together. Like for example, who's a good example of this? I'm like Helen Page and Michael Cera. Like granted they had baby at 16, teen pregnancy, but wasn't it a cute, adorable love story that totally didn't wreck their lives? And then when it comes to what else, Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Zooey Deschanel, like yeah, granted he was kind of really obsessive and narcissistic and kind of a douche, but like he was so lovable, like God. And then she was all like, I've gone through a lot of like terrible experiences in my life, one of which would eventually be Tom, and she was all like, but then at the end, like she just went with someone else. Like how could she, even though she totally told him that she wasn't interested in him romantically, but how could she? So totally adorable. So like if I play this ukulele enough, there will be two adorable little whimsical, hopeless romantic people who fall in love with each other, only to have some sort of, wacky plot twist happen, and then, in the end they'll end up together, or not. Depends. Let's hope for the best. Let's see if I can play it left-handed. I'm gonna try and see if I can play it left-handed, because the left hand is supposedly, if you're left-handed dominant, or if your dominant hand is the left hand, supposedly it's like something from the devil. So if I can play music with my left hand, then that means that something satanic and diabolical is gonna happen with a romantic and So. Let's see if we can succeed at this satanic romantic love conviction. You should be in love by now, but if not, then obviously you're not a human being. So if you're not in love, then that means you're gonna die alone. So good luck with that. My name is Melpomene, and I'm like super depressed. I don't know how about you feel. I don't even know how to phrase words. So like that's the level of like depressed I am. Like what level do you feel like you're on right now? I see. Both wanting to run away from life, but also feeling stuck in life. I see. The contradictory sort of state in life where it's like, what exactly is going on with my life? Like, you know, it's like I feel tired all the time, but I also feel like running all the time. Like, what exactly is my body trying to tell me right now? Like, I feel worried all the time, but I also feel nothing all the time. Like, what exactly are you trying to tell me? All these mixed signals. People keep talking about mixed signals within relationships. I'm like, excuse me, relationships? What are those? All I've ever had is an abusive relationship with myself, with my brain. So, like, what exactly are you talking about right now? I'm so sad. This is so tragic. By the way, I'm the muse of tragedy. This is so tragic. I am truly depressed. And, like, all of my other sisters, all of them, they all get like, you know, this God sort of like, you know, they get the God D. You know what I'm getting? The depressed. I have depression. They're over there writing Apollo's D. I'm like, who is Apollo? I am writing the D of oppression. Like, oh, it's so tragic. Absolutely tragic. Nonetheless, how do you feel, bruh? How are you feeling right now? Tell me in detail. We need to vent. I'm gonna write down your results. Don't worry, I will be your personal therapist right now. Your personal little therapist. Yes, it is totally fun to poke people in the faces. In fact, it is therapeutic and nice and fun. So I'm gonna poke you in the face. Stipple. I know, it's fun. Back to tragedy. So, tell me. When did it all begin? When you were born. I see. Okay. What is this nonsense? I need it. People keep modernizing, and I'm like, stop modernizing. I don't want to be modern. I want to be me, but I also don't want to be me. Who am I? What am I? What am I supposed to be doing? What am I meant to be here for? What are we even doing right now? Nonetheless, when you were born. Okay, so what exactly has been going on since you were born? Like anything, huge events, or like more like that dragging feel of when is this existence going to come to an end? When is my last chapter going to happen? When am I finally going to be able to close this book? Okay, I see. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, 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 yes. Mm-hmm. I feel like you should have burnt this book. Why did you not burn this book yet? This is where you keep all your receipts. Maybe we should not be writing your problems on this here. Let me just write your problems on your face, because frankly, it's already written there symbolically. All of my problems are invisibly tattooed onto my face. How come no one can see them? Now, let's see. I'm gonna start writing all of your problems. Just keep talking. I'll just write it onto your forehead. It's perfectly okay. Might as well be stamped onto your forehead. Why? So, there we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay. I hope you don't mind, but I'm gonna be writing your novel. I'm gonna be writing your biography on your forehead. I hope you don't mind. There we go. You should see my biography. It's only like a couple of sentences. Everyone else gets like, a good page or two, even longer. I'm over there being the footnote. Can you imagine that? Nonetheless, keep going. This isn't about me. This is about you. Okay. Right. And then what happened? Okay, let me just keep writing that then. I'm gonna just keep going. Keep writing on your forehead everything that ever happened. Hopefully you'll wash your face and this will all evaporate. All your problems will go away, but who knows? I usually wear my tragic mask so that way I can hide my face whenever I feel like crying. But I lost my tragic mask. Isn't that tragic? So depressing. So, okay, keep going. Keep venting. Right. Okay. Beautiful. Perfect. Fantastic. Amazing. Superb. Glorious. Famous. Legendary. Terrific. Stupendous. Absorbing. Why am I smiling? Smiles are just upside down frowns. No one ever smiles. They're just confused as to which way their corners of their mouths should be pointing. Why? I'm so depressed. Someone depressed me into the earth and let it be over with. Here we go. Why must I be immortal? It will never go away. There we go. Okay, let me just put punctuation in there. Punctuation is always needed. In fact, exclamation marks are always needed. You can never have enough exclamation marks. That's how you really get the point across. That's emphasis. So, exclamation mark, period. Actually, exclamation mark. I'm gonna turn all of these periods into exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. My life is all blah blah blah. What of substance have I created or contributed? Everything is just gibberish. Are you serious, bro? Yeah, I am, because there's exclamation marks, which means emphasis. Welcome to Disney Channel. is there any final notes you want to add onto this tragic story that you have going on in your forehead? Yes. Okay, let me make room on your nose then. Footnotes to your life. I'm gonna write them down on your nose. Just keep going, keep venting, keep going, keep venting. Okay, I see. Okay, I see. I see. Okay, now I'm gonna go down these nostrils. Okay, so there we go. And there we go. And there we go. Okay. Okay. I'm bored with your life. Okay. Okay. I apologize for yawning, but I also, sorry, not sorry. There we go. Okay. 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 Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. Yep. Okay. Don't forget the punctuation. Period. 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 And now to turn all of those periods into exclamation marks. 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 Blah 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 blah. Flawless. Just kidding, we're all filled with flaws, and all we ever are, will ever be, is flaws. We're just fleshy flaws walking around in this fleshy world that is only ever obsessed with the flesh of the flaws and the flaws of the flesh, and everyone's just obsessed with flaws in the flesh, and it's like, excuse me, can we ever be just people who just pay attention to the mind instead? Can we just be people who are, disembodied voices instead? But even then, we will find some way to discriminate against one another in the most superficial and vain ways, and we will always try to be better than one another. It's just so tragic. I'm so tragic. Exclamation mark. I missed one.